Hey guys, and welcome to this tutorial. So today I'll be building a React sorting visualizer. So without further ado, let's get started. So what you're going to want to do is open up a directory in VS Code and follow along. So now I'm going to open up a new terminal and type npx create react app and then dot. So what this command is going to do is it's going to create a React app in the sorting visualize directory. Let me run that. And as you can see, the package.json file is created. Now it will install the packages that are required. This is going to take a while, so please be patient and go through the process. And I'll catch you once this is done. So my React app has been created. And once your process will be done, you will see this message saying happy hacking. And you'll see all these files in the directory. If you don't see these files in the directory, then please delete all the files and start fresh and run the command that I showed you at the beginning. So next up, you're going to want to come inside the source directory and remove some stuff from here. Open up the app.css. I don't think we'll be needing any of these because we will be adding our own CSS. So that is for later. When you open up the app.js file, remove the logo. Well, first let's try and run the project actually. So run npm start. It's going to start up. Yeah, as you can see, server is starting, and there you go. If you get this message, your React project is successfully established. So now we press Control C, stop the project from running. Okay, now the server is down. So let's make necessary changes. We don't need this. Then do we need this? Remove everything in here. Then type whatever message you want. I'm just going to go with the hello world inside an h1 tag. Okay. What don't we need? We don't need this one. We don't need logo. And we don't need app.test.js. That. And yeah, now it's clean. So now if I run the server, actually you can leave the server running and make any number of changes you want. It'll still refresh. No problem. As you can see there, my message is there. Hello world. So this app is running perfectly fine. Now we are going to make some changes to it. So I don't need a functional component. So this app is going to be my main parent component. So I'm going to be creating a class-based component. I'm using React Components extension. Let me show it to you. Yeah, React Snippets extension. It allows you to create, import, use all the statements at greater ease. So I'm going to go imrc to import React and component from React. And then I'm going to create a class-based component, CC, and there we go. The name is going to be app. The export default. Yeah. Okay, so it extends component, and yeah, sure. Let me make a div. Last name app, and h1 work. Let's make sure that it's running fine. And yeah, it's running perfectly fine. All right, so now let's start with initializing the states. So our first state is going to be our array in which we are going to store elements. Next state is going to be the steps that we're going to take to sort the array. And then the next step is going to be, next state is going to be color key. What color every element gets, and then colors, and then timeouts. Just go along with me. I will explain everything later. Now, the current current, yeah, correct. Current step will be 0. Then initial count will be equal to 10. And then that has to be a delay. Set that to 300. And then the algorithm. Let me leave that blank right now. Right? So for now I left this blank. We will be filling it in later. So these are the states. Just don't let any questions pop. Copy this down. I'll explain everything step by step. Alright, so why we need the array? We need the array to store the elements. Simple? Yeah. So the steps is needed because we need to store every step of sorting the array. So suppose it's bubble sort. The first step, we compare the two elements. The second step, we swap those elements if one of the elements is greater or lesser. So we note that down in steps. So what this will contain essentially is, it will contain an array, which contains an array of the elements. And it goes on. So this is the first step, and this is going to be the second step. And third step, it's going to be like this. Yeah, so that's how it goes on. Now, that aside, color key is the current color notation of the array elements. So if none of the elements are sorted, we will mark the color, say, gray. If all the elements are sorted, let's mark all the elements with green. And this colors array also goes the same way. It will contain a color key array. So it goes like this. Color key. Yeah, I forgot the array. Oh shit. Singing things up. Yeah. So it'll contain color key. Remember, color key is an array. And then the next step's color key, and the next step color key, and it goes on like that. So now that's clear. Now timeouts is for setting the timeout for every step. Every consecutive step, we set a timeout, and finally, when we are done with everything, we clear the timeout. So you will understand this further in the video. All right, so current step is to indicate which step we are in, and then the count is the initial count of the number of elements we have in our array, and then the delay is how long before executing the next step, and then algorithm is basically whatever sorting algorithm we will need to use. So I'm going to be doing bubble sort for this video. I will let the user decide whether or not they want to do some other algorithm, say insertion sort or merge sort or quick sort. Well, merge sort and quick sort are quite tricky. I think I might include them, but let's see. Okay, so let me remove this H1 tag right here. And then first of all, what comes to my mind when I think of a sorting visualizer is we need to generate the elements. So let's say generate elements, and then I'm going to be using arrow functions, as using normal functions requires you to bind it to the class in class-based components. Arrow functions, you can forget that. All right, so we're going to generate the elements, and how we'll be doing that is, first we will have to, well, take the number of elements in the array and then generate those many divs with respect to how many elements are there actually. So Let me take in the bar count. Equals this dot state dot count, and then the array to be equal to an empty array initially. I'm going to randomly generate the number of elements. I mean, not the number of elements, actually, the elements. So for let I equals 0, I less than count, then I plus plus. I'm going to be generating random elements. So array dot push math dot floor, as I need to floor the elements because I don't need decimal points in my array, right? Math dot random. Instead of doing this, I can just create another function to create a random number, generate a random number for me, right? Generate random number. Set that equal to, yeah, so array push generate random number. Let's generate random number. Yeah. So now in here, I need a max and a min range. So min, max, I'm gonna pass in, say my minimum will be 50, maximum will be 200. Let me set that for now, right? So now I'm going to return. I'm just trying to split up things as much as possible, not have it combined in a place as it will be really contradicting. It will be really tough to notice things, right? So if you want, you can put the statement right here. It doesn't make any difference, right? So math dot floor and math dot random for generating a random number multiplied by max minus min minus min. So it'll keep it within the range 50 and then it will not let it exceed 200. That's it. So it'll return that, and I think we can see this array. So let me log array first, and then in here all generate elements. Yeah, call that function, right? So I go over here and then open up console. Yeah, you can see there the array is right there. Now, since we have displayed the array, and we know that the array is getting generated, so let's create bars of appropriate lengths to represent these elements. So what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be first setting the state. So the array will get saved before we do anything. So we mess up. Right? So here, this would go like this dot set state, then array. Is that how we named it? Yeah, array will be equals to array. We are up, and then steps will be equal to array of that. Because our first element will always be the initial array in the steps. Whatever sorting algorithm you use, the first step will be the initial array, right? And then I'll be setting the count plus count. You get set to this count right here. Suppose it got changed by some other thing. Just trying to set it again. And then I'll be setting current step. suppose we are retrying, suppose we're generating the elements again. So that time it will be 0. It has to be 0 because it has to start from the 0th step on this. And now I think I'm going to print these elements out. So yeah, and have those brackets right there. And I'm going to create an element called bar. So let me create a component called bar first. Create a new directory, call it components. Then create a new file in here called bar.js. Now this bar.js will have the essential requirements for what a bar should look like. And we are going to import that in our app.js right here, and we will render the element out. So first of all, setting the component up, let's create a functional component here, as we don't need the full-fledged capacity of a class-based component. Well, everything can be done by using functional components, but I'm not that well versed with functional components, so that's why I'm using a combination of class-based and functional components. If you feel like using functional components, you're free to do so. I'm not the one stopping you. You can as well convert this to a functional component. It will be pretty easy, but I feel comfortable using class-based components. I will try to use as much functional components as possible, but I can't assure that every single component will be a function-based component. All right. So now I'm going to import. No, not to import. I think I'll just start with the bars. That is an ES6 function, right? So now I'm going to, well, what do I do here? I have to return. What do I have to return? I have to return a bar. So that bar is going to be a div dot bar dot bar. And then what else do we need? We need a div that gives the element as is a number, right? So let me take in these. What all do we need? We need the index element, then length, that is the height of the bar, how tall it should be, right? And then I think that is enough. Let me put in length here. Run this, the explode bar. Default bars, name imported in this app. Bar from 1/bar. Now, I think I'm going to have a bar in here. No, I need to generate these many bars. So the number of bars that are inside of it, right? So I can go const bars equals. Now here I can write JavaScript, but I need to use the curly braces to write JavaScript inside the return statement. This is still the render function, right? So here I can use JavaScript, no issues with that. People often confused with that, that's why I made it clear. Now const bars, and let me if this dot state dot array dot map, I'm going to take in index, comma, or else, yeah, value. Yeah, so I'm going to map it bar these properties. I think I can do this. And we need a key because we're going to have multiple bars, right? Key equals index, and then index equals index, then length equals value. Yeah, so we'll have a set of bars there. And within this app div, let me render these bars. We have frame, then let me render these bars. Yeah, there we go. And let me go to yeah, and refresh. Should be getting the bars, but not console logging anywhere. Well, let's bars are here. Well, let me see if the bars are actually generated. So elements, body, root, app, and within the frame there are no bars. No, did we do wrong? So that's why I need to stick to a browser. Box. Let me stick to Mozilla. Localhost 8000. And yeah, here components state. The array is not set. Why? Yeah, because we haven't called get elements method anywhere. So what I'm going to do is, it took pretty long to realize, but yeah, component did mount, and then I'm going to just call generate elements. Yeah, just to generate elements. Should not miss that. Yeah, now let's upload. Still nothing. Why? Hmm, now I think yeah, as you can see, we have these many bars. Right, so see, they have been numbered as well. Okay, so the thing was we had to return. I just thought there wasn't this circular brackets. And then we won't need this return right here. Not this. Yeah, so either ways, we figured that out. Now what we need to do is we need to style the bars, then make them appear good. So the way we are going to do that is, well, in each bar I'm going to want the user to type in the numbers. So suppose this is 0 and I want to type in 30 here, I should be able to do that. So in that case, I'll be requiring input fields. So input fields. Yeah, let's make it an input. Type numbers. Is it numbers or number? Not quite sure. I think it's number. Yeah. So then we need a value. Yeah, now we need to use state. So const len set len equals use state of len. So this is a state for this component only. It's because I'm using this convention because it's a functional based component. Now I'm going to import use state from React. Okay, so the value must be equal to len. Yeah, len, the edge. Then on change and len should be equal to. Oh, what should the on change handler be? It should set length, right? It should set the length. So set length of e dot. Oh yeah, got it. So when we have an change, let's have e in here. Then set length of e dot parse int needs to be an integer value. Parse int of e dot target dot value. An error. What is it? Yeah, have to call it in here. And we pass a reference in there and I hope it works. Yeah, and we have it. And we have an error. What is it? E dot target is, oh, I named it target. Target. Now it should work. It's not working apparently, and we have another error. What is it? E dot target. So target. It's not changing. I'm not able to edit it. So I think there is some error definitely. What is it? Is it because of refreshing the component? Might be. Well, let's use effect for refreshing the component. I think this is how it's done. I'm not familiar with using it. I've used it a lot before. Okay, so it goes something like this: use effect and then a callback, right? And then in the array you'll pass in when to change. So it'll change when length is changed. All right. Now set len of length. And still nothing. And then change. We'll call it point. Well, I think there has to be something that we can do to make it work. This is going to take some time, so I'll figure out what the issue is and I'll get back to you. And it turns out to be a simple mistake. So here you can see I'm not able to edit it still. You just have to change this to len because we are handling and changing len and not the length that we're getting in as a prop. we have to display len as the value, not len. Quite a hard realization. Now you should be able to change it, saying two children with the same key, 180. Oh yeah, it's gone. So now let me change this to 90, and it changes. So what does it say? Receive none for value attribute. If this is expected, cast the value to a string. Okay, so I'm getting none is what it's saying. So you can handle that. If, let me just store this. Const val equals e dot target dot value. Then if val equals an empty string, then you just set len of 0. Simple. Now else check if you should change it to integer. Val equals parse int val. If val, now I don't want the value to be really less than 50 or greater than 200. The value should not go below 50 or 200. I think below 50 will be fine, right? Below 50 will be fine, but should not go below 0 because we cannot handle negative numbers. We can, I guess, but we cannot display it in a straight bar graph. I think you can try doing that, but for now I'm not going to try anything silly. 200, I think we can try that later in the video. I'll handle that condition as well. Set len 200. If it's greater than 200, I'm not going to allow them to go greater than 200. I'm just going to set it to 200, be done with it. Now, or else, I can set the value, set len to be the value itself. Now, it should work for, oh, and we get an error. Parse int of val. What does it say? Invalid assignment to const. Okay, so let me make it a let. Oh, okay, I'm not able to edit. Don't know why. Why am I not able to edit? Oh yeah, I'm able to. Okay, if I make it, okay, so I click on backspace, it will make it 0. Yeah, because it's getting an empty string and it will make it 0, obviously. Now, if I type 200, 4 makes me go back to 220, 203, 6. It just goes back to 100. I hope you can hear me typing. That just takes me back to 200, no matter what. Alright, so we're done with that. And now we are going to have to arrange them properly. I think we'll be doing CSS. Can do that now? Not sure. Well, let's see what we can do. File here, call it dot CSS. Then, yeah, we'll start with that. But before that, I have to handle all of this. So what is going to be in here? I think I'm going to set styles by default equals to set the length style. And I can go const. Suppose I'll change it to let bar style equals. It's going to be an object. Background. Say let's say it's 3D 5A F1. Now this is a kind of dark blue, so everything's going to be set in blue. And now the height should be the length. Actually, margin margin will talk. I'm using this because in CSS you give this, but in JS you can give hyphens. In CSS you define margin top like this, but here without the hyphen and add an uppercase T. Margin top is going to be, the maximum will be 200. So the height of the frame must be 200 and then minus the length. Let's see how that turns out. Oh, I cannot use this. Yeah. So now I think I can set that in here. I think the bar will have a style of bar style. Yeah, seems cool. So as you can see, you have it right there. Yup, we have it right there. Index and then length. That's value. I think I can go for each, right? Is not actually necessary. I'm not sure. No, I think I can stick to one. Yeah, so the value, the array, yeah, console locking the array, console locking the array, index, then length, length, GTH, MGTH. What am I missing here? What did I get? Yeah, course narrative. Where's gone now? It gives me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Prints the index, not the array. What am I passing in here? Drops. Yeah, the rent is 0. Index is 58. Oh my gosh. Oh, value. Then index. Now it should be correct. Yeah. Now it's correct. And change it here, it should change it up there as well. So how do we do that? How do we do that? I think we can have another function, right? Yes, we can have another function in app.js. Yeah. So change array because it's going to change the actual array, right? Yeah. And then we need index and value. Now array be equal to state p. Yeah. Then array of index equals value. Then instead that state array the same thing that we did right here. Steps array current step. We're not editing the count here, so the count will remain the same. Be 0. Perfect. And now I should pass it in here. How do I pass it in? change array. This dot change array. Okay. And then yeah, once I set the value, yeah, I have to add in the props. Array. Set it as 0, then change array of index comma 0. And here same thing, but change array index comma 200, and change array of index comma the value. Perfect. And format the code in it. Make it tidy. Now let's go and check it out. If I make it 16, there we go. It's changing. I make it 160 again. It changed. Okay, great. So we have this. Now we need to kind of squeeze it and format it. So we're going to go to the CSS part, which is kind of the fun part. So we had the bar. I believe we had the bar. I think we have the bar right here. So what this is going to have is it's going to have a border. Oh, my bad. Border radius 5 pixel on the top left and 5 pixel on the top right. 0, 0. So this is the top, this is the left, this is the, I think, no, this is the top, this is the right, this is the bottom, and this is the left. Yep, that is it. And width is going to be 25 pixels. Then margin that I just hard coded these values already, so I'm just using them. Margin right, 10 pixel. If you're having varying sizes, then you can compute your values and then later do it yourself. So yeah, that's what changed. And we need some way of incrementing. We cannot use this increment button right here. We need some other way, something stylish. So I think I'm going to import. No, no, I'm going to add a few extras in here. Dot quantity math, then dot do tn dot quantity up. It's going to have a value plus in it. Then I'm going to have another one. It's going to be minus and quantity down. Yeah. And now we need to do the rest. So, text. Do we have text? We don't have the text, so let me do it later. Not now. Save it. Come up here. Let's get the text style down. Wait, what do we display? Well, we have to display it inside the input field, so let me give it a class name. Text. Wait, compile text. Oh, my bad. Text. Oh, shit. Yeah, text now should work. Now, let text style, and the text style is got to be. Now this is an input field, right? So it has got to be, oh, it's not supposed to have any borders. Border none. Yeah, give it here. Right. Border none. Here. Then background has to be transparent. Transparent. And the width has to be size of the length. And then limit the position relative. Relative. You might make some typos here, which might lead to some errors. Well, let's fix those too. Top has to be well, lower length over 2. Now I want it to be in the center. And now as you can observe here, I'm having a margin of 10. So I'm going to have to subtract 10 from here. And then left math dot floor length over 2 plus 10. Yep. What do we have now? Relative. Yeah, relative has to be code box. All right. So I think that is that. We need to find a way to arrange these. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's go back to app. Open up app.css. And in here, let's style the frame first. Give margin 0. Then display of flex. Justify content center. Center. See. Yeah. See? There we go. And now we need to have a few more components in here. So I think I'm going to have another div in here just for the sake of these bars. So dot bars dot bars container. And let me place these bars inside this div. And I'll hold. Yeah, so since we're done with the frame, now let's edit the container path. So dot container margin, let me see. Well, what do I do? Hard background ash different gradient background. Moderate gray. Yeah, that is a gray. Then padding has to be 0 and top and bottom 1 and 1 EM. This is fine. I need it horizontally aligned, not vertically. So do I do about that? Now I need to figure out some way to make this appear horizontally, align horizontally. Then I'll catch you back in a bit. Now, I'm going to have use the container class, and then set its display to flex, do the same, justify component center, align items center. Now it should have aligned. Yep, perfect. Yeah. So now comes the good part. Height 200. So yeah, that is set. Set a margin. Yep, perfect. Yeah. So the bars are there. Let me go back to the bars CSS. Then dot text align be center. Okay. And rotate it. Transform. Okay. Rotate it 90 degrees. Negative 90 degrees. Still no change. Auto.js. Class name is text. And yeah, we will not pass in the style. Text style that we created. We pass that in. Why is this happening? And the outline terminal. Bars into like this. Now we need to set the maximum length for a bar, width for a bar. I think I've set it. Okay, good. This equals 25 pixels. So what else I'm missing? Bar style. Oh, the bar has a color, and then it has a height of the length, then there's a margin at the top. Yeah, so it is aligned to the bottom, as you can see. And now comes the fun part of I think we have to do it using CSS. Yeah, what am I missing? What am I missing? Well, it is quite hard to say this, but I can't quite find out what I'm missing. Let me just select that element. See the height, margin top. Why doesn't it have a width? Okay, what about the input? transform, rotate, 90 degrees. You see, it's rotating. So I think it's negative 90. Yeah, it rotated. It did rotate. So we can see this and this little rotated. Now, why isn't it taking effect then? I'll rotate the dot text. Does it have the extension dot text? Yeah, the class is dot text. Text, as you can see right there. Type is numbers, style, height 58 pixels, position, relative top. Okay. This one, it has a height of 58 pixels, a margin or top of 142. Yeah, that's 200 minus 58. Then it doesn't have a width. Wow, it's just great. We need to just try to fit this in, rotate it, and it'll be fine. How do I do that? I feel like such an idiot right now. Well, nothing was taking effect because we did not import the bar CSS. Import dot slash. I think it is in the step, right? Why isn't that complete working? Bar dot CSS is beside it. Yeah. Now it should work. You see that? Yeah. But it's rotated 90 degrees. We need to rotate it negative 90 degrees. So there you go. Let's rotate it perfectly fine. Now we need to fine tune it a little bit. Let's just move it a bit better. Yeah, application. Input CSS, yes. Got nothing happened there. Well, I think now I can apply a border radius. VM. Yeah, so that is going to stay in there. And let's just improvise on the bars, right? So the plus and minus, we need to take care of the plus and the minus, the increment and decrement sign. So it's quantity button. So dot quantity button, then also a pointer, so hover over it, point, yes. And we have to make this go. So what we do is, this is a bit of cheat, I took it from the internet. It is quite easy to do. So what we do is select the input which has the type. Apparently this is how you select input of a type. I didn't know this. Mint number. Shit. Yeah. And then WebKit. inner spin button, comma, same thing for outer spin button. Change this inner to outer, format it. And then we have WebKit appearance, set that to none, then margin 0. And we just select the input of type number. Yeah, mouse appearance text field. Not currently, it should become a text field, like a text field. Yeah, see, that is what I'm talking about. Now, what more do we need? Yeah, we have to style this button. So we style it by the text to center. It should be at the center. So center of that div. What I mean is, we can select this and then go inside and see it's the center of that button, that div. That's what I mean. So now let's set the background to say some significant color. Find anything good in here without cyan. Then margin, we don't need it to be too rough, so 10 pixels, 1 pixel will be fine. Right. Now onto the button on hover, for such bad typing. On hover, I should change its opacity to 0.5. Its current opacity. Nice. So, it's fun. Cursor is not changing to pointer. Let's open to it. It's a pointer, right? Must change to pointer. Oh, anyways. Now I'm going to have to run it. And the way I'm going to define it is let, what's the name again? Quantity. btn equals btn style. That's how full selection made. Alright, so now position. We'll have to set the position to relative. Yeah, I've done that there, right? Yeah, here positions gotta be relative, and then top going to be length minus say 10, and should be fine. And then we pass it in here. So in both of these, style equals quantity btn style. Same thing goes for this one. As you can see, it is arranged properly. Now this has to come down a little bit, right? Instead of doing margin top, Everything needs to have a margin of 0, shouldn't it? Yeah, it does. Margin 0. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. And now let's increment and decrement the values. So const increment, const decrement. This is just a little bit of what we need to go through to get this completed. So in the increment, I'm going to set the length of current length len plus 1 or length, because len is our state and length is our prop that we're receiving from the parent. So that is that, and then we change the array to index plus an index, and then len plus 1 again. Yeah, so decrement the same way, goes like that, but minus 1, then a minus 1 there. Perfect. Hope it works. Really hope it does. On click. Then on click, we give increment. Yeah. On click, give decrement. See, it's increasing. See that? Decreasing. That's increasing. Yeah, perfect. So now we have our elements with their own individual customizable buttons. We can even enter the value right here. Doesn't matter, however you want to do it, you can do it. All right, so now we're done with designing our bar. Now we need to get on with the rest of what we need to do. Yeah, so let's get here. And first, before starting to generate our elements, we need to first clear everything that there is. So clear the colors. So let me create a function for that. Keys. Key will be fine. It should clear the state and set the state. Clear whatever was in there. Set the state. So what we can do is take a blank new array, this dot state dot array dot length, or we can even go count, right? Let's just say count dot fill 0, as the color has to be 0 initially. Well, we'll have a colors array in which we'll have 0th element, first element, second element. 0 means it's not yet visited, 1 means it has been processed, and 2 means it is completed. So we'll have green at the second place, second index, blue at the 0th index, and then red or yellow at the first index. So now we have to set the state. This dot set state color key blank, and then colors here. So color be blank as well. Same thing we did for the arrays. All right. So now we need to clear the timeouts as well. Now, timeout is set once a step is executed. So we need to clear all those timeouts and set it back to 0. So, an empty array. So here, timeouts Then this dot state dot timeouts dot, it's an array, right? So for each, we have to clear the timeout. Clear the timeout, clear timeout, yeah, clear timeout of timeout. This timeout is returned when we call the set timeout method. It is to set an interval, and we need to clear this when we need to create a new array. And the generate new array function is called. So now I'm going to set the state, this dot state, and set state, and timeouts. It's got to be an empty array. All right, cool. So now we need to create a method to start the operation, right? Now we need to actually, yeah, start the operation. So strt calls to handle start. Now we're going to have every step in the steps array. So what I'm going to do is take the steps array, process it, loop it through, and then set the state of this array right here, and you'll see what will happen. It is so simple. I'm just going to take the array, let steps equals this dot state dot steps dot I don't need that, right? Let colors equals this dot state dot colors. Start clear any timeouts if there are any. Okay, then let timeouts equals an empty array. Then I equals 0, while I less than steps dot length minus this dot state dot current step. We do not want to execute more than the required amount. That is why we are stopping here at this point. So let timeout equals set, as I told, set timeout will return the timeout. Set timeout of a callback function is to be called here. Now let step. Now this current step is a local variable and this is the state. So please don't get confused between these two. Equal to this dot state dot current step. Then this dot set state. What are we going to set? We're going to set the array to, guess what? The steps of current step. And then the color key, array. I'm going to set the array, array, R key to colors of current step. And then we need to increment current step plus 1. So when we access this dot state dot current step, only then the state's current step gets changed. You cannot change it unless you use the set state method, right? So you need not have to worry about this getting changed. If I'm changing something, suppose I'm incrementing it here, I'm incrementing the local current step. Now dot push this array, timeouts dot push the timeout. Then after this, state dot delay times I. This is the delay that will happen. So suppose delay is 300 and it will get multiplied by the number of steps. That is the delay set for every step's execution. All right. So now hit. Yeah, so inside the while loop, I have to increment this I, and then outside the while loop, I have to set the polynomial this dot set state of timeouts those timeouts. All right. Now the only thing, I would not say the only thing, but I could say the only thing as well. Let's create a button first. Button. We need to keep it inside this start, and then we need to handle this when it is clicked. So we need to add a listener, an on-click listener. Well, I'll do that, but before that, well, let me generate the steps required. We have not touched this steps nor this color array. So let's generate the steps required to sort the elements. New folder, say algorithms. Inside here, we create a new file called sort.js. Yeah, sort.js. And then let's have const. Const is not required. So generate steps. And in here, what we need to do is we need to clone the array and the colors array, the actual steps array and the colors array. And then we need to pass it into the bubble sort module and get the sorted steps back. And that's it. So let's do it. Let array imports this dot state dot steps. Oh, array itself dot slice, that will clone the array. And then let steps equals this dot state dot steps dot slice. Then let colors equals this dot state dot colors dot slice. We need the actual array as well. Now we need to import the bubble sort module. So let me create a function called sort export salt bubble sort. All right, so I need to import it. Let me say algorithms. I will leave the GitHub link to this project. I will have some additional features as well added. You can go through the project, and if you like it, please leave a thumbs up. That really helps. All right, so now let's call bubble sort. Import bubble sort from dot slash algorithm slash bubble sort. All right, so bubble sort. I'm going to pass in the array, comma, a position, and then steps array, and colors array. And then let's take care of this in the bubblesort.js file. Now, in the bubblesort.js file, we need to write the code for bubble sort. So I think this is going to be fun. That color key equals colors dot. Oh, we need to get this first. That's what I was wondering. We need to get the arguments first. Position tabs. Or keep it as tabs itself. Colors dot colors dot length. Shit. -1 dot noise. And for let I equals 0, I less than array dot len -1. This is generic bubble sort algorithm. A simple bubble sort algorithm. You will get it in Geek for Geeks, and it is quite straightforward. Let I equals 0. I mean j, right? So j. J less than array dot length minus I -1, then j plus plus. Yeah, so inside this, if array j, if array of j is greater than array of j plus 1, then we will array equals swap of array comma j then j plus 1. So the swap function should be written over here. Swap. In the swap function, we need 3 arguments. That is the array var x, y. And that is enough. Then we need to have a temporary variable equal to array of x. Let's say I and j itself. Array of I. Array of I equals array of j. Yeah, it's ARR, not array. Feeling so stupid. ARR of j equals 10. And the array. What is your swap? Okay, swap is not defined. On swap. Now it'll be defined. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, that is that. And then yeah, so this is the bubble sort algorithm. So now we need to do some extra steps. Steps dot push the array, then color key of j equals 1. I said you 1 means it is currently being reviewed. So color key of j plus 1 is also equal to 1 because we're comparing 2 elements, the jth element and the j plus 1 element. color step colors dot push color key dot slice. Then we set color key of j plus 1 to 0 because we are done reviewing those two elements. Alright, so now outside this for loop, color key of array dot length minus 1 minus I is 2. So here the basic catch is in bubble sort, we always tend to push the biggest element towards the end, and that is why we set it as successfully sorted. So the end element will go to the last and it will be sorted. So next step we do steps dot push array dot slice, then colors dot push array color key dot slice. And then finally, whatever elements are remaining, we set them as successfully sorted. So it goes like this. Colors dot length minus 1 equals new, the last step of colors, that is array length dot fillet dot let with 2. Yeah, then turn. Perfect. So now if I click on start, well, nothing happened. Why is that? What's happening? Yeah, because we did not set the on-click event yet. So in this button, not from where is the button? Yeah. On-click, we need to add an event. And that event is going to be, well, what was it? Start, I guess. I believe it's start. Okay, I need to search for it. This happens with, yeah, handle start. This happens with me quite often. Forgetting things. Okay, handle start is not defined. Yeah, to give up. No, this dot handle start. Yes, it's a class. And I keep forgetting that for some reason. Yeah, and we have an error. Great. Button on click. This dot handle start. Handle start is not defined. Okay. So it's not defined. Why is nothing happening? Okay. Yeah, we need colors, right? We need a color key as well. We need to set the color. Forms colors equals an array. This will be the first element, the array. I have to search for two colors. Well, I think I'll be using these two colors. That'll do it. Yeah, so these are the colors I decided to use. I need to pass in the color key. So in the app.js, inside the bar, I need to pass in the color key. That's it. Yeah. Make sure color key equals color key of index. Believe. Oh yeah, this dot state color key. Color key is undefined. What did I name it? Name it color key. Why isn't it working? .js. Color key and use the color key. Where should I use the color key? Should be color key. Perfect. State that color key is not defined. Where is the error actually? After JS level 111. Color key. Well, this is frustrating. Why is it giving me an error? Color key is undefined. Oh yeah, we haven't set it yet. My bad. Well, when we had a chance, we should have done this, but in the get elements array, once we set the initialize the array, I mean initialize everything. Once everything is initialized, we must have called this, made this call. Then, well, this dot generate steps. Then colors dot length -1. There's an error in bubble sort. Undefined JSON 2. So why is it saying it's undefined? What have I passed in, by the way? Generate elements, generate steps, colors, this step state. So I am passing in colors. then I have to set this dot set state steps steps others other. Saying there is an error here. I don't understand why it's saying that. Yeah, we still have an error there. Double sort line 2. What is the error? It says it's undefined. Why is it undefined? Log alerts. It's passing in an empty array. Well, I did set the color key, right? Your color key. Generate elements. Yeah, I'll not call it in here. Yet not. This dot clear timeouts. And this dot clear color key. Hope it will work now. Yeah, and it's working. That is it, guys. We have successfully built bubble sort visualizer. This is very simple, but you can improvise it more. So this is it for the video. I'm going to end the video right here. As you can see, it's sorted, and you can increase the items you want, and then start. Why isn't working? I think I'll take care of this part as well, right? Or it won't be completed. Will it? Search for any other logs. Tackles of outcomes. Start. It's working now, but what if I change the value? Components 67. Once I change the array as well, where do I change the array? Right here. So I think once I change the array, I have to call the generate steps method. Now I'm calling it as a callback to the set state method because the set state method is an asynchronous method. If I put it outside, let me show you. This dot generate steps. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, it's working. See? It will work. So say suppose I put 200 here, right? Now let's start. 200 will move to the last. You can see it's working perfectly fine, right? So you can improve upon it. Well, you can fix the CSS, I guess. It's the least you can do. Right. So I'm leaving the rest to you guys. Now let me show you what I told them to show you. Yeah, so this is being passed in as a callback because the set state method is an asynchronous method. So what happens if I call this outside here? Remove this comma. So if I do this, it will not work. Suppose I implement it and I start. Oh, it's working apparently. You see it got set to 192. If you want it to go faster, then you have to change the delay. See, if I change this to 100, it'll go super fast. So let me make this a 200. Yeah, let's start. Now see the 200 just vanished. See, it keeps on going. It never ends. See, that is the error I was talking about. So this is an asynchronous method, as I was telling. This is an asynchronous method. Where was it? Where did it go? Yeah. And when this is executing, probably the steps are already generated. And you would have generated the steps for the wrong array rather than for your desired array. So you can either do this or you can use async await. Async, then await for this. So until this is executed, nothing else, it will not go further. You can use this as well. Let me show you. So suppose I change it to 107. Then I change it to 93. Now let's start. See, it worked perfectly fine. So you can use async await, or you can pass this call inside as a callback. This means that once this set state is done executing, only then call this generate steps method. So that is what's happening here. Okay, I hope I've made most of it clear. I will be uploading this to my GitHub repo. You can download it from there, but I do not suggest you download it and directly play with it. Just go through the tutorial, take whatever is useful to you, build it from scratch. Yeah, and yeah, see you in the next one.